there, Red listeners. Thanks again for tuning into Sin's Workshop. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So today we're going to be talking about Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer. This is the first book in a new series. You might be familiar with Kemmerer from A Curse So Dark and Lonely trilogy. And I love that trilogy. Don't get me wrong. I love the first book. The second book was a little bit of a letdown, and I haven't read the third book yet, but I really want to. So, I do like her writing, and I have to say, I really did like Defy the Night as well. I thought it was a really well written story. I like how in the beginning, you have your, cast of characters, right? This is your list of all the nobles and what they're called. And pretty much all the nobles, they have their own province in the kingdom that they govern. And I like the one that's called Trader's Landing. And that's not the official name of the realm, but considering that the former noble is responsible for the assassination of the former king and queen, who were, by the way, beloved by their people, it's fitting, And then you have the list of the three rebels, right? Tessa and Wes, who are our main characters. And then you have a little explanation at the bottom about what the moonflower is and what the sickness is. And the moonflower isn't an all-out cure. It is a treatment. It can cure early symptoms, but once you're so far gone, that's it. Sorry, it's not going to do anything for you. And this sickness that has swept through the realm happened literally right after the king and queen were assassinated. That's when it became an epidemic. And you have these two young boys who have to now rule this kingdom, and now they have to play politics, and now they have to try to figure out, treason and politics and what it means to ensure not just their survival, but the survival of their people with the sickness that's going around, And of course it's easy and I'm not defending them, of course. It's easy for the people who are not well off to just blame the king and his brother, who's called the cruel king's justice. It's easy to place blame on them, because, of course, not all the facts are privy to the people. And it's really a rough hand, It's really a rough hand that was dealt to both Tessa. She lost her parents because her parents were working with smugglers as apothecaries. They were working with smugglers to get more medicine to more of the people who couldn't afford it. And so she saw her parents get killed by law enforcement. And it kind of sucks. It does suck for her to kind of be in this situation where she wants to carry on her parents' work. She liked her parents' work. Her parents were doing good the only way they knew how. But, of course, nothing ever kind of works out the way you want it to work out, even when you're doing good. So I like the story. There's lots of layers to the storytelling. There's lots of, Tessa and Wes and Corrick. I thought Corrick was a great character as well. He doesn't want to be the cruel king's justice. He hates that title. But considering, his parents were beloved by everyone. But of course, greedy nobles weren't afraid of them, so they, tried to assassinate them. And for Corrick, he is in this position now of, he's 15. His right, was he 13? He was between 13 and 14. 13 and 15. His parents were assassinated in front of him. They tried to kill him and his brother. So he became ruthless. Everyone's mocking him like, oh, he can't take this position, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, I'll show you that I can take this position. And he does. He becomes very stoic-faced. He becomes very unyielding. But he hates it. You see that this is just a facade. It is a front that he puts up so that he can protect himself, so he can protect his brother, so that he can prevent the nobles who, there are only two provinces that can grow the moonflower. He's trying his hardest to prevent greed from limiting resources to the masses. Doesn't always work out for him, but he's doing his best with the cards he was dealt. So it involves a lot of bluffing. It involves a lot of, aggressive handling of the situation. And he doesn't take any patience with people. With smugglers. It's just like he's not a fan of smugglers because it's like you are exploiting people. I don't want people to be exploited. To the people, it's just like, oh, well, these are people who are giving us medicine. So it's, it's a rough hand that he was dealt. It doesn't always work out the way he wants it to. It is complex. And I do like the complexities that go into the characterization. I do like the complexities that go into the plot line. I think, once Tessa and Cork join forces, you definitely see her view shift. Like I said earlier in this podcast, the masses aren't privy to all the underhanded things that happen in a royal courtroom, unfortunately. There's greed, there's corruption, and they don't see it. They just know they are sick, they are suffering, they need someone to blame. Unfortunately, they are blaming the wrong people. And that's the part that Tessa is seeing. She's just like, this is what you have to deal with? And it's just like, yeah, this is what I have to deal with, dude. And she sees, But unlike Cork, she's looking for another way to kind of handle the situation so that more people are happy. More people are happier given the stakes of the situation. People are more welcoming. People are more willing to work together and compromise because, rebellion. People are speaking of rebellion. People want rebellion. People think the king and the king's justice are not doing anything. You as the reader, you are privy to the information. It's just like, y'all just need to work together. You just need to talk to one another. And they do. They finally, at the end, come to some sort of agreement. But there is a book too, Everything's not all roses. There's a lot of things that still need to be figured out. And I liked that. I like that there is room for the story to be further explored. I do like the romance aspect of the story as well because it's not forced and pushed on to the reader. Yes, you have these two people, they are attracted to each other, but it's still not the core of the story. I'm not a huge romance person. I don't mind romance in my stories as long as it's done well, and I think Kamimura did an excellent job in this story by building up the attraction. Wes was there when her parents died. When she thought all hope was lost, Wes found her, and it was just like, no, we will continue their work, but we're going to do it our way, right? And you understand that attraction, it's founded on something. And then as they, butt heads throughout the story and as they, come together again, you're seeing this build of trust. You're seeing these characters really come to understand one another underneath the mask that they wear. So I do think it's a well done story. I like the layers. I like the complexities to it. I think it does offer the reader something engaging to read, and I think Kevin Moore did a really good job with the world building here. I will never say no to a book with with a map, and I love that there is a map here. You have the wilds, you have the provinces, you have, I guess I'm just going to call it the royal sector because I don't have the book in front of me. And I think it was really well done. It was engaging, it was entertaining, it was overall a well thought out story and a well thought out plot. The pacing was very engaging as well. It just moves so fast from one point to another. And there are some twists and turns, some predictable and some not predictable, that offered the book and story to have more tension that I think it didn't have otherwise. So I'm going to give Defy the Night 4 out of 5 stars. Once again, really engaging book, really good character dynamics, really good politics, really good complexities and layers when it comes to characters learning to understand each other and the situations that they are in. Not super heavy, kind of a light read, fast read, but again, really dynamic as far as the characters go and very memorable as well. So 4 out of 5 stars. Remember, if you want to support the author, please purchase the book from a local bookseller or online book retailer. If you can't purchase the book, check it out from your local library and just write a review. Just share it on your social media. That's the best way. Well, that's another way that you can support the author. And from my interactions with authors on Instagram, they love them. They really will reshare them. They adore that stuff. And you can't blame them. It's just like, hey, even if you're not buying the book, you're still kind of like promoting it in a way. And that really helps them out. And on that note, hope you all continue to support me here by liking this podcast, subscribing to it, and sharing it with all your book-loving friends. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.